Hello and welcome. Welcome to your graphic design course for non-designers. This is a course where you'll learn to create visual assets for your own business. And by the end of the course, you'll be able to design anything you want. I personally love Canva. I am obsessed with Canva, and I have created my own business cards, PDFs, website icons, website images, Facebook ads, and even the presentation that you will see with this recording. But first of all, I need to ask you, because I get a lot of clients telling me, oh, Yesica, I don't know why this is important. Why are you making me draw things, design things? I just want to focus on my business and generate more sales. Well, let me tell you, graphic design increases your sales. By building quality, you will build trust. And by building a trustworthy brand, you're telling your future clients that you are reliable. There is an intangible experience that people get, which ultimately leads to more sales. So as a personal example of mine, my last business, Yesica's Threading, I managed to increase my sales by 25% by redesigning my banners, business cards, and brochures. This is something I'm extremely passionate about, and it's a really fun part of the course, so I hope you enjoy this course, and let's get started. Let's get started on canva.com. This is what the homepage looks like, and you can design anything you like. So you can type in email header, and it'll give you all the email header options with dimensions. You can also type in something like resume perhaps, and you get all these resume designs that you may like to follow with the guidelines. Let's get started with this presentation though. So this is Design 101. Have no fear of perfection because you'll never reach it. That's one of my favorite quotes, and I find it really applicable to business owners. This is some of the past work that I've done. I'm not sure if you can see this screen really clearly. Let me see if I can maximize it. So this is all of the work that I've done in the past for some clients, and by the end of this course, you'll be able to design things exactly like this by following these rules and conventions. Let me give you a 5-minute tour. What you need to know is the left-hand side here. Template, it'll give you some inspiration perhaps. You can always drag and drop. I'm not going to replace the current page, but what you can do is you can change the colors and images of things, switch it around to fit your branding conventions. Next, we have uploads. So this is anything that you'd like to share, that you'd like to upload, images, maybe photo shoots, professional photos, headshots of people, logos of clients, other such work. You've got your photos here, so you can search for anything you like. You can search for photos of cats, for example, and there'll come photos of cats. You can also do, let's say, photos of Coca-Cola, and Coca-Cola will come up. And when you get the pro version, all of these images are royalty free, so you're not infringing on any legal implications here. Later on, I'll show you where else you can get free images. Elements, so here I've typed cat before, so there you go. These are icons. So you got photos up here, you got icons here, and you can choose whatever you like. What else is there to do? Let's say, again, with the Coca-Cola theme, you can find brand logos, and you can find, icons like these. Here we have text. So a lot of these are pre-designed, such as that, but you can also choose any text here. You can change the color around on the left, on the top and on the left. You can change the type of text from multiple fonts, and we'll have a look at fonts later. So that's a text bar. Music and video, we won't cover so much. So you can drag and drop, and if it's a presentation, it'll play. For videos, you can choose an array of any video that you like. And for presentations, they will play. There you go. You can even choose this for Facebook ads. You can choose this for the main header of your website. You've got an array of backgrounds to choose from, any of these abstract ones. Got backgrounds of food. You've got textures, you've got flowers, you've got nature. You've got all sorts of results, or you can just choose these plain backgrounds here. You won't be able to see them on mine because I've already got a preset background. And last but not least, if you want to show something graphically, you've got an array of charts to choose from. So you drag and drop these and you fill these on the very left. So you can fill them with your X and Y charts. You can even change the color of the X and Y charts so it can, you know, look a bit nicer. And that pretty much concludes our tour. The other thing I'd like to briefly cover with you, just gonna resize this screen, is that creativity is ultimately in your hands. So I can teach you a few things. I can teach you what's pleasing to the human eye and some textbook stuff, but it is up to you to practice and develop your flair and your style. This is your thing here, and it's totally up to you what you'd like to create. And my suggestion to you is to have lots of fun doing this, because it is, I have a great time, and I hope you do too. We'll cover 6 topics here. And on top of that, I'll provide some course notes that you can follow after. We'll start with layouts, then we'll go to grids, then we'll go to alignment, typography, and color work. We'll find out where we can get more free stock photos and any extra tips that you may be interested in. So navigating around Canva, I think we've already done that. With the Pro version, you can resize. You can resize to an Instagram post. You can resize to anything here. You can just type it up. Let's type up resume again. Yeah, you can resize things to resume. What else can you do? So you can save this. The present tabs here, because I've got a presentation, but you can also download right here. And I could download this document right now, all 76 pages, but I will not do that. What else is there? So this is a basic representation of a template. So you can choose from the template bar here. For example, let's say I really do like this one. Let's have a look and see what it looks like. Looks beautiful. And what you can do is on the top, you can change the colors around. So you have a look. And maybe that video is not for you. So maybe let's choose another video. I think I'm going to target the female market, so I will choose this video instead. And so you can change, you can even change it to an image. Let's see, upload, so you can change it to this Coca-Cola image here. You can have a look and play around with the typography on the left. You can enlarge and shrink the fonts. That's bold, so you can unbold that. Change to whatever color you like. And now let's touch on this thing called alignment. So see here, there's 2 images, the top one and the bottom one. The bottom one looks a bit funny because if you see here, you've got the text in one direction and you've got the image in the other one. Whereas this one, if you imagine a straight line running down the middle, then you've got alignment. So what's pleasing to the human eye is that you've got a line running down the middle, or you've got a line running to the side or to the other side, but there is you must keep it consistent always. So I'll show you what I mean. When I get a line, type in line. This is kind of like a ruler, isn't it? Let's do this. And let's flip it over. Whoops. To 90 degrees. Yes, so there you go. So that's a straight line there. And if I also measure it, you can also have it facing so it aligns to the left. That's another popular thing to do. Whereas here, when you put a line down the middle, it's a bit all over the show. Yeah, so like I say, avoid alternating alignments and stick to one side only and keep it simple. You know, you're a business owner, you've got a pretty big life already. You don't want to be overcomplicating yourself with things. Next one is grids and layers. I absolutely love this. There's a feature on Canva called grids. So I'll show you what I mean. These are grids here. And what I'll do is on elements, oh, here they are. You can also type them up here, grids. Here you go. So you can put anything here, resize it, resize the dimensions. I'm going to put something like this, one on top and one on the bottom. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at images of my favorite fruit in the world, pasta. Let's have a look at what we see when we see pasta dishes. Oh, look at that, yum. Excellent. So you can drag and drop these images into the grids, and no matter what size you have them, they will always be the same dimension. So look at that. Looks great, doesn't it? Yeah, this is making me hungry. So yeah, grids will keep things consistent for you. Now, I was messing about for God knows how long, probably 2 months doing this. I would put something like this hat on the monkey and I would be wondering why this would just sort of hide in the back. What happens is you have layers. So you can position things and move them forwards or backwards. So I can either move this monkey backwards or the banana forwards. And now you see the monkey's grabbing the banana and he's wearing the hat. So if you wonder why an asset keeps on hiding at the back like that, it's because you've got them in a funny position. So just be mindful of that. Next lesson you've got here is typography. Now we're not graphic designers here, and you have to have a lot of respect for graphic designers because they spend 4 years learning this. And they learn a lot about pairing fonts. When you find that, you're pairing a font with another one. So let's say we got the big font and the little font. When you're pairing them with one another, sometimes it looks good, but sometimes it looks a bit weird. So this and this, it looks a bit, well, looks fine. It looks a little weird. Font pairing is important for your legibility. I know, especially a lot of women, it's very popular to have swishy fonts, that cursive writing, flowy font. Just be mindful of that because on the computer, and especially when it's quite small, it doesn't really read well. Fonts also evoke emotions. So I'll show you what I mean. So on the top, on the bottom left, you've got this sort of font, which is a bit more structured, maybe a bit easier to read, maybe for a formal documentation, not so formal, but formal enough. And then you've got this one, it's a bit more playful, it's got a bit more edge to it. So it's important to pair fonts, and I've got 2 links here, which I will link onto your work documents. But the number one that I like is this one. So this is a tutorial on how to choose the right fonts, or there's certain font combinations that you can obtain. So here we've got League, Spartan, and I don't know how to say this one. I won't say it. But this is an easy to read publication. It'll show you what publications it looks good in. So it looks quite nice in annual reports. There's this other one here. This other one here. So you can have a look at all the fonts and pick one that speaks to you. So this is fashion and retail. That's what it can look like. So Canva, what they've done is they've already paired the fonts for you, which is fantastic. And then if you already have fonts, and if you already are playing with a font or you have a particular font in mind, the other link I recommend for you is this one. So you pick a starter font. Let's say I'm going with Arial. Still loading, still loading. And this is only really for a lot of the main fonts. Once you get into very specific fonts or fonts that you've purchased, then it gets a bit tricky. This isn't loading. Let's choose another. Let's choose this font here. You can choose here the font pairs that Canva recommends. Here we've got this other one here. I like this combination. I think it looks very good. So there you have it. You've got your font pairing and your typography, which is super important for your brand. Moving on to color. Life is like a box of crayons. I fully believe that. I am so blessed to be able to see in color. It's just wonderful. So when you choose your colors, there's these things called hex codes. They are 6 different numbers, and they are usually prefixed by this number symbol. I'll show you what that looks like. So you can go into here for color, and then you can go here for the new color. And when you choose, you can literally drag and drop all of this, and you'll get all sorts of different color combinations. You can choose hues of blue. You can do hues of purple. And each, I don't know how many colors the eye can see, a lot, I'm guessing. And here you will have different colors to choose from. I like this crimson red because it goes with the Crimson Dragon theme. And as a best practice for your brand, it's best to pick 3 colors, 3 to 5, but let's just say to keep it simple, we're picking 3. Now, before I move on, one thing I really like to do is do color pairing and look it up on Google and look it up in your industry. So if your industry is in fashion, for example, put in color pairing fashion and you will get all these different pairs. Maybe fashion's a bad example. Let's say finance, that's always a good one. Color pairing. So you'll get different color palettes. And there's so many to choose from. And, you know, if you have a favorite color, choose that too. Different colors will evoke different emotions. So here's one. And right here, they give you the hex codes. Again, more hex codes, orange and black. And these are just still loading, but all these different greens and the black. This blue and black looks really great, especially if you're a blogger or if you, if you blog or if you're coaching in finance, this is a really great one. And look, there are no rules. Just have a look around, find the colors that you enjoy. And then we're moving into this hack. It's called the transparency hack. So you can see here on the top right hand side, there is a transparency icon. And you can make things look as transparent or not as you like. And this is this looks good when you have a very, let's say a very vibrant image like this one. Let's take away the filter. and have it be shown in color. So I can give you an example. And you've got to bear with me. I've got a slow internet on this side. But if you want to do something like this, it really looks great. Now here, because of the white and white, it is a little bit tricky to read. And so what I like to do is I like to get an image like this. Probably I'll change the color to black. And then so it looks a little bit nicer, and so it looks a bit more subtle, I'm going to put the transparency on, like so. And so it's just, maybe I'll make it a bit more transparent. It's just subtle enough for it to not be noticed, but obvious enough for it to be able to highlight the font. So that's what the transparency hack looks like. And I recommend you to try it. It's great fun to do. Next lesson here, we've got PNG, JPEG, and PDF. Do you know what the difference is? I sure didn't when I started. A PNG tends to look a bit more glossy. It's usually higher quality, but it takes up more space. Because of the high quality, it requires more data. So when you have too many PNGs on your website, it may slow down your website a touch. So just be mindful of that. JPEGs are not as great of a quality. They may have a faded look compared to a PNG, but they're great for large images. So if you're doing a header image or a very large image, I recommend you download it in a PNG format. Sorry, in a JPEG format. And for your PDF, that's for, downloadable documents, all the rest of it. And because Canva's introduced the mobile one, you've got MOV, you've got MP3. So just be mindful, have a look at those different file types and what they have to offer. I'm going to focus on PNG and JPEG though. So you see here, I don't know if you can see that clearly, but on the left-hand side, you've got Quora. And this Quora icon looks a little bit more glossy. This one on the right looks a little bit more faded. So that's what the PNG looks like. That's what JPEG looks like. I don't know if that's clear to you. It's clear to me from here. And the other thing is when you download a JPEG, you're going to download the extra area of white that will come with the image. Whereas here in PNG, you can download it transparently. What you have to do when you download it is click here. It'll give you the file type. We're going for PNG. And we're going to tick for transparent background. And then you download that particular image. So you don't get that, that weird layer of white. Yeah, so to avoid getting that. Last but not least, I would like to talk to you about my handy dandy Chrome extensions. If you're not on Google Chrome, I highly suggest get on Google Chrome. It's fantastic because you can download these extensions. So I like this one. It's called the Color Pick Eyedropper. And then you can see it right here. So it'll load. And what it does is it gives you the hex code of every single color you decide to hover on. So that's white. That's the code for the gray there. And say I really like the color of this red, this fire red. So you can hover over here and you can click on it and you can copy and paste the hex code onto Canva. Paste. There you have it. So that is a tool I very much enjoy using. And when you download it, just Google Color Pick Eyedropper. You have a whole variety to choose from, but I think it's this one here that you see on the top, and then you just download it up here. Next on the list, you've got your page ruler. When you go into a website and you really like the dimensions of something, so let's go to this website, for example. One of these projects that I did, it was a lot of fun. Let's say I really like the image of this pig in this sort of, all right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the ruler and I'm going to measure, oops, I'm going to measure this whole area. Doesn't have to be perfect, but I really just want to get the estimation of it. So here I get about, what's that? 1,400 pixels wide and 715 pixels high. So this is all done by pixels. Look, I don't know how little a pixel is, but it's really, really, really tiny. It's like I don't know, like a millimeter less. So they're really, really tiny. And what you need to do is you need to go onto Canva, go on the home page, and say I want to create a image dimension similar to this. Canva's going to go and ask me, or I go create design, and Canva asks, sure, what dimensions would you like? And what I do is I go to custom dimensions. I get the width 1,400. I get the height 700. And I go ahead and create my design. Fantastic. So that's a page ruler. And here you got the specs for it. Whenever you're in doubt at something, whenever you'd like to find the image for, for Facebook, for LinkedIn, for Instagram, a lot of them are already preset. But if you don't know the image, say you want, or let's get out of here. Say you want an image of this icon and you'd like to know how big to make it for your own presentation or for your own website. What I do is I get the page ruler, I go here, and I go, right, this is 200 by 200. So I make it 200 by 200. The other thing is if I'm not sure, let's say I'm not sure how big a LinkedIn image is. So what I do is I type in LinkedIn image specs, and it'll give me the size of the LinkedIn image that it needs to be for me to be able to present a decent image on LinkedIn. So you can do that. You can always Google it whenever you're in doubt. It's all done by pixels, and you start by the width. So you start by how wide it is, and you then go by how tall it is. So if I tell people, build me an image that's 500 by 300, it means it's 500 pixels wide and 300 pixels long. The other thing I would like to show you is this hack on Paint. Now, if you don't have Photoshop, this is a really good strategy. However, I think Canva's come up with something. So let me duplicate this image here. Oh, by the way, you can also duplicate images. You can delete them here. You can add notes. So if you've got other people in your team, you give them notes, which can be handy. Let's say I'm going to delete all of these assets. And let's say I've got a background that's really, let's have a look at my upload, see what we've got here. Let's say we've got a really contrasting background, or even this one here. What you can do is you can go to Effects, and then you can use this tool called the background remover. So you no longer need to use Paint. Canva's uploaded a new feature called background remover, which will remove all that white. And so you want to put this in a red background or a black background. It's not going to, this white isn't going to bother you anymore. On Paint, there we go. When you open up Paint, you can also do this. It's not as clean of a method, so just be mindful of that. So that's how I did that, and that's how I did this image here. So when you open it up, what you can do is when you open up Paint, use this tool here, bring it closer to you, and press delete. Now this will only work if you've got a contrasting image. So it would work for this sort of background, you know, with the brick walls behind me. It can do that because there's such a contrast. But if there's a lot of objects in the way, it may not work for you. And then just be sure to do this middle image here and this image here, and there you have it. And you can, you know, I rubbed out the dog, but you can leave the dog if you like there. It's up to you. Again, this is your course. You design it how you want. that's pretty much the paint hack I had for you. Where am I here? Yeah, so give it a go. Design your, your Facebook, your Instagram ads. Find the specs. So these are the specs on Facebook. 1024 by 1024. With Facebook ads, make sure you use no more than 20% text. And you can always confirm this by using the Facebook grid tool. Now, if you have too much text on Facebook, you will get penalized. So I type in Facebook grid tool, text overlay tool, fantastic. And so what you do is you can upload any image that you like on your Facebook, and it'll tell you if it's okay, if you could maybe resize the text a bit, or if it's just so high that your ad will not run at all, and you will essentially be wasting money, which is, it's not ideal. So that pretty much concludes this presentation. Give everything a go, design your assets, design your website, design your Facebook ads. Now you've got the tools, and enjoy the handouts, enjoy what I'm about to give you. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Thank you so much for listening. It's been an absolute pleasure.
So that almost concludes our Canva tutorial. There is one more thing I forgot to mention in the presentation, and I will just quickly share my screen again. So even though you can choose from a whole array of stock photos here, a lot of them are royalty free, there are two sites that you can choose from. One is pixabay.com. The other one is inpexels.com. And what you can do here is you can type in anything that you like around your industry. So let's say we're looking at the florist industry. And let's do the same for Pexels. So here is a whole array of stock photos that are royalty free. Same goes here, and you can choose from all this array and resize it as you like on Canva. I know it's been a huge lesson, and thank you so much for listening to me. It's been an incredible experience having you here. If you need anything at all, I'm just an email away. I know there's a lot to cover, there's a lot of content, so I hope the course notes help. And if anything, just, like I said, shoot me an email, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you so much.